And good afternoon, IEN. We are live with some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe action featuring Lawrence North High School against William Henry Harrison High School. My name's Spicy, joined on the mic here with Orbital. How are we doing today, Orbital?
Doing all right, doing all right. Excited to be here. Excited to see some fun racing and hopefully a lot of silly moments as well across.
Definitely, yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for sure. Known for both of those things. You get a lot of the high octane, great driving. You'll also see some of the most chaotic item plays as well as pretty much anything that can and will go wrong here in Mario Kart. That's just how the game is. It's why we love it so much. And as you mentioned, super excited to eventually get into this.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit of silliness, and especially when it comes down to team play, it's a lot of making sure you know how to play, but at the same time, trying to keep pace, trying to keep up with the rest of the opponents. We see some teams knowing how to be very, very comfortable in blocking for their front runners, especially when you get to the higher levels. But specifically with Lawrence and Harrison, it'll all be left out on the racetrack, as I should say.
For sure, yeah. William Henry Harrison are trying to get off to and continue this really strong start to their season. They're already 3-0 so far. Lawrence North trying to get their first win here. So both these teams still got a lot to be playing for. So we'll be eager to see how that all goes. And before we get into the action, we got to give a huge shout out to Zotac Gaming for supporting Scholastic Esports in Indiana. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media. Make sure to join their community on Discord, and don't forget to use the hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA whenever you post.
Got to go ahead and give love to the people that allow us to give you such a good show, and it makes me very, very happy to hear again love for Zotac and love for the players as well that get a chance to be on stream and be able to be covered here on the matches.
Definitely, yeah. We're going into the action shortly. So in the IEN Mario Kart format, it is following the Grand Prix format. So we're going to be doing a best of 3 essentially of 4 races. So each game is going to be 4 races of a Grand Prix. I believe IEN follows. They do 1 Grand Prix each week. I think this week is the Special Cup. So Cloud Top Cruise, Bone Dry Dunes. I want to say it's Bowser's Castle and Rainbow Road 8. So we'll be seeing actually the same tracks throughout the entirety of the set. You'll see the adaptation being made throughout each of them as well. And with all of that, you'll have a little bit of familiarity. It's all base game tracks essentially too. So I'm really interested to see how this all ends up playing out throughout the entirety of the set.
Yeah, it's all about, again, when it comes down to this point system, it's all about not just getting one player at the front lines, but also getting a very nice congestion of your teammates behind it as well. One of the big things, because it's point score, it's not specifically just a hold on, I want to say just one player. It's point based, right? So if you get first place, it's like 15 or 20 points, and then it drops down by like 2. So theoretically, if one person on say Lawrence's side is able to get first place, but you garner 2nd through 7th or so on the side of Harrison, you can take the entirety of the rounds. It's all about how well you kind of congeal and get everyone together there. And as you were mentioning, it is going to, I believe, be that Special Cup there. You can go ahead and see. We already got a little bit of a raceway up on the top ropes, and if it works out, I'm curious to see. From my understanding, we are going to be watching from Harris's POV, so getting a little bit of understanding from them and see how well they do.
Definitely, yeah. I'm interested is also to see like how this first race goes. We're going to Cloud Top Cruise right away. In this game, Cloud Top Cruise is seen as one of the strongest front running tracks possible. Very few shortcuts really throughout the entirety of this map, as well as not a single shortcut needing an item to be taken. So really, after the first like few moments in the race, you will start to see a team try and break away, get that front run going. Otherwise, it's a bit of a catch-up game as here we are kicking off this set.
Yeah, it is going to be a 4-on-4, so let's see how well they can play. And it is going to be, as we said, Harrison going up against the Lawrence Wildcats. And this one also has a lot of the side hazards, so I'll be very interested to see how well the teams are able to stay on track as best they can. Hopefully they are able to manage and be able to boost their way forward as a quick little zip start. Immediate fall off. All right, great start here. This is one of the trickiest parts about this special map is you can get so behind and yet so far ahead depending on who falls off and who stays on.
Definitely, yeah. And you saw that moment right there, you were seeing our player actually go for a technique called the super bounce, a moment where you're able to get a mini turbo trick off of that boost panel and ideally get into a huge front run. But now we're getting hit out in the cannon, and we're going into a much faster section here as well. We're going to be up to a bunch of boost panels, but here we are already in 8th place, and you're seeing one of these players from William Henry Harrison is already way up there in a front run with the Baby Rosalina on the red team, but the pack as a whole really close.
I gotta agree with you there. Try to go for the leaf skip, but not gonna have it. Instead, you're falling on the wayside. I feel at some point you gotta be a little bit aware of who you're fighting against, and it looks like you are trying to kind of bluster your way into a 7th, 6th, which is not bad. Again, if you're outpacing some of your opponents, you're good, but thanks to a lightning bolt to also stay behind the pack, I like this call. This is the way to basically ensure you gain 1st through 3rd. It's a wild call, but it's working.
Yeah, it's a wild call indeed, and it is working out in dividends. You're seeing a massive front run now being established here. We are about to be top 4 after this star here as well, and that's such a pivotal moment here for William Henry Harrison. We're going for the super mini turbo glider as well, and that gains the extra spot. The blue shell's going to come out, but look at that lead over there in 1st. It's not going to do anything.
It's so well called here, and again, you have to kind of sit back and go, was this an actual call being made? Are you kind of playing for that late? Of course, now you're chasing your teammates, so probably not at the end of the day, but you do recognize that this 3rd lap can be very, very dangerous depending if you let, we're watching Lawrence here, we're watching Harrison. If you're watching Lawrence, you gotta be a little bit aware. If you get a lightning bolt, you can lose that 4th and 3rd place. Our current pacing is still there. Ooh, nice little knock on the back end. That might be a little dangerous there.
And dangerous indeed. You are going to be able to get the double box with the UMT glider here as well. You're going to be able to get the triple greens, but we're not going to be able to land on their unfortunate mistake there, as that would have been a top 4 and likely, but instead we're going to be settling for still a very strong top 3-7 from the side of William Henry Harrison.
There you go, already point totals heavily leaning into those double digits, half or double what you just saw, I believe, Lawrence gain right there. So nice little lead for Harrison, and they're going to be real happy about that one. Next up, Bone Dry Dunes. This one maybe not having as many fall hazards, but instead a little bit more, I would say, safety regards. There's hazards on the road specifically that are going to slow you down, and there are skips, right? There are some awesome skips that you can try and pull off here, but mainly for this, it's avoid the on-road hazards and keep pace with the rest of the squad. You're not going to fall off. You're not going to get resets. So those, I would say the on-road hazards are actually a lot more dangerous because you're slowed to straight up 0 and you don't get a really good boost off of it.
For sure, yeah, and Bone Dry Dunes also is a slippery track with the desert physics there. Each and every turn on the sand is going to be much harder to actually control. So it's really interesting to see how are these players going to be able to navigate that. You're already seeing, like, throughout the entirety of the players here, a lot of focus on the roller tires, which gains a lot of great stats here as well, and everyone's going for a lot of handling here too. So it's about a matter of control. We're going to see now what's William Henry Harrison going to do. Are they going to be able to preserve this front run, or are we going to be able to see potentially Lawrence North try and draft their way up here? The pack is close, but having triple greens from one of your players is such a great way to protect your front runners who are already trying to establish a lead.
It looks like they ate the dirt a little bit much, so you're talking about the greens, but unfortunately the greens aren't holding as well. Getting a double, what do you get as 7th place? Triple mushrooms will get you pacing up. But as you said at this point, just kind of holding steady in that mid position for the rest of the team. We're going to see exactly where this is given. You can see a player ahead of you. You try and set out a green shell. It misses, but instead you get slammed on the back end, and you're going to boost your way back up front, so and positioning is holding a star for one of the Lawrence members all the way in the back, but heavy passing on the back end. So this poor Peach is going to try their best at getting some of the better items in the game.
Definitely, yeah, and you're already noticing that Lawrence North, they have a lot of the back presence here. Not necessarily a bad thing here. They are in position to be pulling the lightning bolt, the shock, and that here we are at this point too. You're going to be needing a big, powerful item here, because look at this. While the blue shell is coming out, and we do have a star in 3rd place, there is the shock coming out. It's also going to be comboing into the blue shell up in 1st place, and despite all of that, we're still maintaining a really strong foothold of these top spots here from William Henry Harrison.
Oh, but I love what Lawrence did. They actually held double stars. I think all the way up to positions 5 and I think 6, and they actually boost themselves pretty close. They're trying to couple into these last few spots and lock down, I believe, I would say about 3rd through 6th. If they can do so, that's actually huge for them. So we're watching this Peach actually move back up to 2nd position. That would be a huge one, but you bump off! Oh, that hurts. You set on the lower ground now. That hurts a lot. You don't get that boost control. Instead, you get the solo at the very end here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there. The lower path is generally seen as a slower one there too. You're watching the rest of this minimap to see what's going to be taking place from the rest of these spots. It's a top 2 guaranteed at the line. We have to watch for our own teammates' bomb. And the bullet bill is going to come up from the side of Lawrence North. It's a matter of, is it going to be enough to steal any other spots though, as our top 4 from William Henry Harrison.
I mean, that was really, really well played. The idea was there. We saw that from I want to say we saw that coming out of Lawrence High School. Lawrence North, they had the idea. Double stars to kind of boost their way through once the lightning came down. It is a tactically good way to get in position if your opponents are within range, is what I would say. We saw them boost up to about 3rd and 4th, but because the lead was so high already, Harrison were more than comfortable being able to recover properly and make their way and maintain the 1st through 4th. So really well done by Harrison.
Yeah, definitely great job from there too, and they're getting rewarded by going to Bowser's Castle next. Very strong front running track once again, similar to Cloud Top Cruise. So it's a matter of, can we just capitalize on our great driving, our ability to maintain top? Xander in particular has been doing great so far. That's 2 first place consecutive in a row, so they're on a perfect game so far. A matter of seeing, can they keep this up? We're on a great start here from William Henry Harrison. Anything else to just capitalize here? Full startup boost coming out, and now at this point, what are we going to do to be able to protect this front run? I loved also just being able to drift around these turns of some difficult sections coming up here as well, trying to get that trail out, and unfortunately getting hit by the fire, but we're still maintaining a lot of top spots here.
And I feel like this one, it doesn't matter what items come out at the end, as everyone's in a hazard zone. It feels like, so no matter what, you're always going to have kind of that danger of getting hit by something. So even if a lightning bolt comes out, even if a blue shell comes out, you can always rely on the fact that if your opponent is maybe not as practiced on this map, you're going to be able to catch up to them relatively well. So just maintaining 1st through 4th is a much better position than maybe dropping down to the lower positions and looking for some of those stronger power-ups on there. Not only that, really well done by this Peach player to hang on to a little bit of peace as we do swap over to the 1st place is Baby Peach. Actually in the front, very speedy character, and I love what they're doing here.
Yeah, you saw a lot of that great driving. You saw the Ultramarine Turbo come out there. We're switching over now to what Lawrence North is able to do. We see the Golden Shroom back here, as well as the Star from a few of their players. So we're chaining for these like powerful items, and that's really important considering with how much of a breakaway we had from those top spots as well. If they can get any big items here, it's going to be necessary, because you're watching that mini-map, and there's still so much distance now between the top 3 and the rest of the pack.
And the question is it going to be enough, right? So, eyes out. Going into this last lap here. And this is your last chance to really gain any sort of favor, but Harrison are just crushing it here. And I say that because of the point scoring total, it is very difficult to come back from like a 20 to 30 point deficit. And at this point, if Harrison win it here, they have locked down this first game. Oh, barely keeping steady off that side. That was so close.
Oh, and we saw the double shock come through, a very rare occurrence here, but you can have up to 3 shocks in play, at least in a 12-player room. So here, seeing 2 in an 8-player room, it's a matter of seeing how many spots we're going to be able to take up from this point here as well. You see the gap between 4th and 5th are starting to catch up, 8th and 7th as well, both being in stars. And there's another Shroom Cut coming up here as well. Might be able to steal a few other spots, but Harrison as a whole should be able to hold on to this top 3. Watching that yellow Birdo here, are they going to be able to hold on, keep this top 4? It's close up there. They might have been able to do it though. Put another statement in this set so far, as Harrison off to such an insane start, back-to-back top 4s.
I mean, that's just what you love to see, and specifically from Xandander, I hope I'm saying that correctly, 28 points. So keep in mind, I believe that is 2 first place finishes, and then 1 second place finish for them alone, carrying a majority share of those points. They've done exceptionally well, and now going to Rainbow Road. This one's more for a little bit of glory in there, is what I want to say. Of course, it's very, like, it's mathematically impossible to come back now for the side of Lawrence, but you can get some brownie points here. You can absolutely get brownie points if you knock down Harrison on Rainbow Road, of all things, and it would be so silly to see. Is it gonna happen as, oh, I think we had a couple of players, unfortunately locking the wrong thing, but again, Cloud Top Crew is not a bad one to go for fourth. Oh, okay, they exited out, yeah.
Unfortunately there, yeah, just to get back in, have the opportunity to go to Rainbow Road for the first time today. And hey, this will be a bit interesting here because of the room reset. We're actually going to see a shuffle of opening spots here as well.
Yep.
So if you are Lawrence North, you're actually going to be potentially in a position where you might not be in like bottom 4. You might have like a bit of a mix up there. So fighting for the top spots right away, a little bit of a reset, both just and the actual spots as well as the mental thing here now.
Oh. Hey, there we go. Yes, we are back. Sorry about that, everyone. That was some of the other lovely casters out there. Very, very sweet. But again, as you were saying, I do agree. Some of the positional value that comes out from Lawrence, they've had opportunities, right? And again, when you get that first place position, you're already up there and everything. As you called, having the ability to be up there is great. However, we haven't seen them, I think, utilize the jumpstart boost, the boost pretty much off the starting line as much. It's really been, it feels like they've been playing a little bit from behind. So for Harrison, even though we are having a room shuffle, I don't think they're going to be overly worried. And from my understanding, you keep the same points, even though it might not show. We'll just add it on the numerical values on the end. So they're still looking at a game 1 win.
Definitely, yeah. Especially after the back-to-back top 4s from the side of Harrison. Just a lot of momentum on their side. And nice thing is we do get to go to another game after this as well. So there will be some time to get a bit of that reset then. You will eventually get a chance to go to Cloud Top Cruise. And if you're a team like Lawrence, you have now just a little bit more understanding of, oh, what is the other team wanting to do? What's the game plan going to be going into game 2? Rainbow Road might be your opportunity to just test that now, see if there's any game plan shakeups potentially just to wrap up game 1.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see exactly what they're planning to do. I think we're still waiting for, it looks like 1 more player to join in. 2 more, I think, is what we're looking at here. But do agree on that one. It's going to be a little bit of a chance. Again, so big question is how are they going to play this out? What are they going to place into this? And if they do go ahead and place that game 4, then it's fine, or that race 4. We'll see what they say. In the meantime, though, Spicy, I do think it's a good time to call out one of our other amazing sponsors. We have amazing people that have made it possible for us to run these productions all the way through.
Oh yeah, we want to give a big shout out to Landfest and their Scholastic Esports program that supports this league and many others. Since launching, Landfest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to Scholastic leagues in Washington and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to leagues, schools, and teams we cover, and your generous donations make this all possible. So every $200 raised covers the operating costs for 1 regular season broadcast. So if you appreciate our work, scan the QR code that you see on our screen and donate today.
Yep, very, very nice. Please go ahead and keep making it possible for Landfest to help run these broadcasts as well here with Esports Indiana. We just want to give a big shout out there because, again, when it comes to Scholastic, I feel like Scholastic is so interesting considering there are so many different titles, obviously. And the fact that I'm fairly old, I always love pulling this card. I'm 32, and I really do wish there were areas for me to play games when I was in high school that was in a sanctioned competition. I think it's a really, really big treat. So the idea that we get this here and we get to showcase some of the kids that may want to go on to collegiate, which you and I have experience in as well, Spicy, it's going to be fun. At least, and we want to continue doing this. So big shout out to Landfest for giving us this opportunity and making it possible. As we head on back in, we are going to get a full Rainbow Road for our game 4. See how that pans out for both Harrison and Lawrence.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Rainbow Road just in general here. fairly longer track in this game, and a lot of opportunity here for one, being able to maximize your driving, but also a lot of catch-up potential. You're actually going to see some interesting dynamics happen revolving around the cannon at near the beginning of the race. Immediately gonna see what do we do here. We're seeing once again a front run being established here from the Harrison players. I see them always going for these coins, so important here to do so in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, being able to maximize your top speed, going for the ultra mini turbo gliders as well to maximize all of the time saves possible here. So matter of seeing what are they going to be able to do. There are a lot of tops here potentially, but now it's also a matter of seeing what's Lawrence going to be able to do, potentially getting some better items now when it's just still midway through the first lap.
Yeah, and I love this little skip jump here. Nice little hop down, just covering ground. And again, it really does show that Harrison have so much experience in this game, right? I mean, the game's been out for a while, obviously, with some of the newer, with the newer gen games. If maybe next season we get swapped over to that, we understand this game inside and out. For those that have practiced it, it feels so smooth for them. Yes, there's been a hiccup here and there, but really big props to whoever is walking these students through these maps and really showing them how to play it as efficiently as possible.
Definitely, yeah. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, very much known as a low floor but very high skill ceiling. And you're seeing a lot of that being maximized to great effect here from the players of Harrison. Once again, we're going to be able to demonstrate this little skip here, save a little bit of time, get the SMT, the Super Mini Turbo, and we're just going to be able to keep establishing this front run. You see a mix of spots in the back there between the players from Lawrence and the baby Rosalina. Xander, believe that is to be the case there from Harrison. So matter of seeing what are they going to be able to do. We haven't seen a blue shell yet. I'm still waiting to see if lightning bolt shock is going to be into play here as well, because that could change a lot of things up, especially in lap 3. It's a fall off, and they're also going to be seeing a blue shell getting hit in the cannon.
That hurts. That hurts. You're racing for that first place, got locked out. That's a rough spot to be in. We do see a bullet bill, though, by the way, from one of the Lawrence members just trying to get back in this race as cleanly as possible. A hefty chunk lead right now for the rest of Harrison, as they're already kind of looking towards that earlier, that game number 2, that set number 2 here, if they can. Really well done, protecting their backsides, keeping this red shell the entire way through. It's going to be a good coverage overall. Oh, that's rude.
Oh, on your own team, on your own teammate as well. Hey, didn't lose any spots for it in the process, but wow. Yeah, well, hey, love to see that, I guess, kind of. If you're Harrison, you got a little bit of time to mess around there. They already knew they had it in the bag. So another great win overall here. Harrison is off to such a great start in all 4 of those opening races. And from this, they're looking very poised to just try and continue that going into game 2. We're going to reset the room once again just to get the scores all back to 0 and restart from fresh. But hey, what a start from there.
Oh yeah, and again, when we talked about this, we saw it from race number 1. Race number 1 was a little bit more messy, and that one was just it just had a lot more falling hazards, in my opinion. Now, yes, we did see falling hazards on Rainbow Road, but I feel like on that cloud top, it's just way more chaotic and much harder to hit those curves, and there are so many skips that require you to hop off ledge. If you don't have the proper boost, if you hit the wrong angle, you are going to fall. So it made sense that on that map we were seeing a lot more juggling of position. But as soon as we hit the desert, as soon as we hit Rainbow Road, as soon as we hit Bowser's Castle, it felt like it was all Harrison's, and I want to see that continued as we head into set 2 of the series.
For sure, yeah. I think the little bit of maybe a little bit of a warm up is actually going to be really helpful going to Cloud Top Cruise, especially where we're probably not going to be having the exact same mistakes that we saw in the first game. We have a little more experience. We should know what we're going to be able to do. What are we going to be able to adjust there? Really excited to see what does Lawrence do in particular now, because they have a great read, I think, on what exactly Harrison wants to do. Harrison wants to establish that front run from the very beginning and then make it very hard to catch up, like even with all of the items there. So I'm wondering what's Lawrence going to be able to do. I'm kind of hoping to see maybe a little bit more of aggressive item play in the very beginning of each race, just to see if they can kind of shake up the front run before it even gets started.
I would agree with that. You know, try and lay down some red shells if you can pick them up. Even get some of those boots and box out some of your opponents. The problem is, again, I feel like they are very slow off the start. I feel like Lawrence are very slow off the start here, and they aren't hitting those boxes as soon as they wish. A lot of the time, they're hitting it at 5th and 6th, which is giving them huge item boosts. We do see some of those ultra mushrooms are getting some of those speed ups and all. We see the bullet bills land in their pockets as well. It's just Harrison is so far out of range that it's very hard to hold on to them. Unless you get, I would say, back-to-back lightning bolts, it's very hard to cover some of those earlier gaps in there. So as much as I do agree, I want to see that aggressiveness coming out of Lawrence and even aggressiveness out of Harrison, right? I want to see them get messy. I want to see them get a little more physical, try and slow down Lawrence as much as possible. It does feel like if Harrison just keep pace as to what they were doing, I don't see any changes.
No, definitely, yeah. It's hard to beat a team that has been undefeated thus far in this season, and you're starting to really see why with all of that. The driving, especially from Harrison, top to bottom, that roster has been immaculate. It's been so clean. Even when there are mistakes, they will establish such a strong lead where it's like, even with the mistake, it's so hard for anyone to catch up from them. They're fast. They know what to do to maintain speed even without the items. You're seeing it a lot in the mini turbos, especially with we're charging for like the super mini turbo, the orange one, the ultra mini turbo, the pink one. We're able to just maximize all of that speed, get so far away from everyone else. And if they just keep that up, like you mentioned, it's really hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the Saracen rosters, Zandander, K-Will, Milk, Asvin, Wooded Bear, Grace, which I believe 2 of those players are subs, so we aren't going to see them here. I do believe that they have played an exceptional series here, and they should be feared by everyone. Really, really well played. We are diving back in, and once again, hopefully we don't have any mix-ups here, but keep in mind, in the first race, Cloudy Top, it was, I believe, 2 top place finishes and a mixture down to 3rd, and then I think like 6th is what we saw, 6th or 7th. It was by far the closer of the races in there. As we go ahead and get a little bit of a toss up here, it's gonna be 4 people voting, but of course everyone knows exactly where we're headed to, as that's oh, are we swapping to a different circuit? Is that what we do per set? Is that what we're doing here?
That's what I'm trying to figure out here as well. I think we'll see immediately if there's a communication error in the beginning or not. I thought it was just one circuit throughout the entirety of the thing, but hey, if we get to see more tracks, I'm not complaining for that whatsoever here. But we'll get a chance to see what happened just off the bat here. So immediately we saw what happened at the beginning of Cloud Top Cruise in game 1, where we fell off here going for the super bounce. We're gonna play it a bit safer here, and we are not gonna go for the super fast version of it, and we're still gonna be able to be on the track, but we're getting bumped around, and you see it immediately. Everyone just gets kind of shoved everywhere around. Everyone's getting hit out, but despite all this, still a top 3 from Harrison.
Yeah, they go ahead and put themselves in a really, really nice spot. I like that side angle grind here from the Peach player, saying, okay, let's stay a little bit away, but keep ourselves in a good spot in case we do need to cover for our team. They let 1 ahead, but it's not the worst in the world. They're going to hit that boost as soon as the lightning bolt comes off, which is a really, really nice call. I think we're talking about that speed boost skip right there, getting a little bit extra boost on the back pocket. Has that star to play with and has the triple mushrooms as well. Again, they know how to manipulate the odds. They know how to put themselves in the right position, except they also know how to fall off, unfortunately. That was a little bit rough to see.
Yeah, unfortunate, once again, missing the super bounce technique, and we're going to miss this other bounce pad there as well. We're going to be able to at least get into the double box, and we know our team is in a top 3 situation, and we're having a star in 5th place. We knew that Shock was in play before, but what a back from one of the players there. That might have been one of their teammates, but still, what an exceptional item play there at that point. It sends this player back down into 5th place, and so one of the players from Lawrence is in 4th as we are using this golden here. Have the Ultra Mini Turbo again, and just watching this, very similar sort of what we saw last time, another top 3 break while Lawrence is trying to just catch up.
It just feels so good for the Harrison squad, dominating so far in their movements across the entirety of the series. Go ahead and launch a blue shell, which is just annoying to watch, really, at the end. But a nice shell. Okay, so we saw the lightning bolt come down, but I believe one of the Harrison members actually had a star. So their back of the pack is still actually very well covered.
And you see that also with the team mode being turned on here, we're not actually going to be seeing that blue shell target anyone from our own team here. So a big break so far from first place, but the 2nd through 8th is much closer now as well. We're gonna get hit by the lightning bolt, unfortunately. There, we're having Laka to save us here. We're gonna be able to match the ghost here, be able to throw out this crazy 8, see if we get any extra spots. The top 3 looks to be set, but it looks like a nice 4, 5, 6 at least from Lawrence. And I think this might have actually been the exact same placing we got it from game 1.
I think that's because IHSEN has been so hard stuck on trying to hit a lot of these skips and a lot of these boost tricks in there that they're okay taking a kind of penalty in there. And again, when it comes down to it, you know, I gave props to those that might be very, very comfortable in having a 7th place tank just to get the good items. It also makes sense if they're not and they're just trying the silliness because they know they have the top 3 spots on lock. Hey, great on them if that's true, and let's see if they can continue kind of their fight for the top spots.
Definitely, yeah. I'm excited to see what Lawrence does now. 2nd time going into Bone Dry Dunes. Last time we were here in game 1, it was a top 4 from the side of IHSEN, but what's Lawrence going to be able to do to counteract that this time? We saw the slippery physics really start to affect both teams actually in the beginning of the race, a lot of bumping around, but really jostling for position. So it's a matter of seeing how do we establish this in the beginning now, and just seeing what are we going to be able to do from both of these teams, seeing who's going to be able to get the starter boost. What do we pull at this first item set? Oh, the starter boost was great, especially there, but not being able to hit the item set's unfortunate. It's going to be able to maybe get some coins here in the process, but not yet actually here either, as we're approaching now the really start of this slippery section here in this desert. Be able to maybe get double busting. Falling off once again. Hate to see it.
IHSEN doesn't care. I love that IHSEN is kind of playing with free abandon here. IHSEN is, of course, the player that we watched the entire time. Has been very comfortable on this peach, but zero regard for possible misses or anything like that. Has been very willing to just kind of go for every single trick. And that's the confidence that you have from a team that's actively winning, as that is going to be a nice little boombox throwing them off, and you're now locked at almost that 8th position, immediately speeds back into 4th.
Yeah, you're actually forcing IHSEN to burn the mushroom early because they got hit in the sand, and that's probably, and they get hit with the blue shell here too, which just looks like it's going to be targeting one of their teammates up in front who has such a big lead. Once again, similar story from what we've been seeing throughout the entirety of this set. Big front run from the side of IHSEN. Meanwhile, a bit of pack play now starting to also be developed here. We have the triple greens in the pocket here in 6. If you want to start backing them, especially after the shortcut with the mushrooms, you might be able to get a lot of value here, especially knowing who's all behind you.
Let's see if they're able to continue here. Another knockback, as it's been a little bit rough here. Bullet bill to come out, 3 shells fired, and all 3 connect with each other. That's going to be the passive 2. Well done by the side of Lawrence. They go ahead and try and push themselves into a further lead. There's going to be the ramp punch, though. Nice little star to help out, and let's see if it gives them any sort of space to work with.
And we're in a scary spot to be here. Yeah, you saw the red shell, and you saw the presence of mind there from Lawrence, knowing once this player passes, it's a matter of we would just throw this red shell forward, nothing you can do. Shot comes out as well here. Gonna make things a bit more difficult for them. They have to avoid this double item box here. They get a golden mushroom for their efforts at least, and you see a lot of the players from Lawrence. You see the one in star here. There's 2 players in star, trying to see how many spots are they going to be able to salvage potentially here, because it looked like at least another, the top 3-5 here still. So better race than here from game 1, but there's a lot of great things starting to be developed there from the side of Lawrence, especially near the end.
Yeah, we saw some movements, but again, it's about a 30-point gap right now. It needs to be made up now. When we were taking a look at it before, in my opinion, Bowser's Castle is one of the best. You can force a lot of drops. We started to see, I want to say, a nice little sync up for the side of Lawrence. We started seeing those lightning bolts plus the bullet bills being used in kind of appropriate fashions, trying to get coverage on the opponent as much as possible. So if you do that here, maybe you can try and sneak away 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's going to be a tough ask overall, because Zandander has been perfect on maintaining their top slot so far.
Yes, and then there has been like the MVP throughout this entirety of the set. That was their, I believe, their fourth at least first place finish throughout the entirety of this afternoon. Amazing driving so far, and you're seeing them just maximize it once again. And that's the entirety case here from the side of Harrison. We're fighting up with everyone here for this group front run, getting past the pace locking of the obstacles being thrown in our way. And I like the idea of splitting up on the path section here, making it so much harder for anyone else to pass us. But hey, we can always just throw ourselves off there, unfortunately, getting a little bit of a space here too.
Yeah, might as well fall back a little bit. Not the worst in the world position to be in, as you're still running at the front. A little bit of a red shell, chance to fire if necessary. Teammate comes in from the side of the pack. Again, you are holding this red shell just in case something fires at your backside. You also have a nice reset, is what I like to call the single mushrooms, in case you get locked up, in case you run into a wall. I like to call it the boost reset. It's just like, okay, get back up to top speed, get running once again. Here at the moment, though, a lot of space between Harrison and Lawrence, as Harrison are looking dominant once again.
Yeah, it's a dominant front run. Zandander is just once again showing off with that driving up in first place. It's a matter of seeing if you're Lawrence, what are we going to be able to do? He's, like 3/4 of that team is in a star at this moment, which could be pivotal if they had shock or had they had anything else to really follow up with. But now we're looking to see if we have blue shell, if we have any other really attack items potentially, because not only is first place gone, but second place is gone too. The blue shell finally comes out now.
And this is... that blue shell is taking a lot of time, but again, the space that has been locked is so far. It lands, but the only one you're chasing is your own teammate, so let's see if IHSEN is able to match pace. It's going to be a fist down, hanging on to the inner lip. I don't think it's going to happen, though, as you can see the space being given. Zandander way out in front.
Yeah, and the rest of Harrison is way out in front as well. There's a break now between top three. The rest of the pack is Gilberto's trying to see if they're going to be able to make this a top four, but there's a player from Lawrence North trying to play a bit of spoiler here as well. Shortcut opportunity still on the mini-map. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to take it there. And without any attack items, we are poised for another top four in this set here. Harrison, once again, with such a statement.
I love it. Everything that they do feels very much in control. All they need is one more game to complete, and they are now 49 points in the lead, controlling, I should say. Very well done on their part. At this time, it is all about just completing the end of the series, feeling good about your victory.
You maintain that undefeated record here in the IHSEN Mario Kart season. Staying undefeated is not an easy task whatsoever, and to do so with dominance at times as well, you are really putting out an entire message to the rest of the league. We are a team to be watching out for. We know the strats, we know the different ways to keep our teammates up in front, and we will hit out any enemy that is in our way. Here we are, Rainbow Road once again. We do see Zandander burning out there, but hey, even if you are in the back, not necessarily a bad thing here to be in on Rainbow Road 8 as well, as now we've got IHSEN trying to just promote the front run once again. They had some great moments here in the first game too.
Oh yeah, they've had amazing moments, I should say, from 7th to 1st to 2nd to 3rd, and it's been a roundabout way for them to kind of play. I feel like they're the most volatile member of the team, and yet probably one of the most fun to get to race against and with. You never know where they're going to place. You never know where they're going to actually angle for, and you never know how well they're going to pull off a lot of these tricks. A little bit of a rail grind plus the other side, and immediately jams up on the rail. What did I just say, Spicy? It's just like, IHSEN looks fun to play with.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like, I saw a little bit of a gap jump there over one of the pass, and it was like, okay, that's not typically gone for either, and then we just went into the wall. Unfortunately, we weren't brake drifting, so we are going to be falling off at this point. And Zandander, we saw them burn out at the beginning. Once again, here they are in first place with that gap there as well, and Lawrence now just trying to play some catch up one more time, see if they got anything here. With this cannon set, you might start to see some crazy items. I was wondering when shock was going to be there, and there it was.
Nice little lightning bolt. And a skip to come on out. So once again, getting so much extra space with that jump. Last time you pinned yourself against the wall, tried to bounce off, and actually got stuck on that movement. So no real challenge there. Star coming up behind you, though. So do you see a change here? One of the Lawrence members has actually stuck their way into third in a very comfortable position and currently hiding out right behind Asvin, which I appreciate as they fall off. So that's second place to one of the Lawrence members.
Yeah, I think that little bit of pressure you were seeing from the side of Lawrence caught up to them there, and there's another shock being in play here as well. They're actually in a solid position here for both of these teams. You are right into set once again if you are Harrison, and with this cancel, you're going to be able to pull big items like that bullet bill there in fourth place. It's going to not take the gap jump. It's not going to extend necessarily at here either, but it's going to take you into a second place almost position. You have some mushrooms. Are you going to be able to catch up to one more player here from Lawrence? But Lawrence able to hold on to second there, and a 1-3-4 at least from Harrison. Seeing how the rest of these spots fill out, 1-3-4-5. Harrison, even though they didn't get second place that time, they finished top 4 overall in those standings to just cement a great Game 2 victory.
Very, very well done, and the series goes their way as well. As you mentioned, Harrison High School being a controlling squad now. That 3-0 turned to 4-0. They have been immaculate in their race victories so far. And give credit where credit is due. The Special Cup didn't really do anything to them. Some of the trickier maps, the Bowser's Castle, Rainbow Road, known to throw a lot of opponents off. They knew every single jump, they knew every single skip, and they knew every single boost location. Very, very clean on their victory route.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Orbital. Just a lot of clean driving, a lot of great skills throughout the entirety of that Harrison teams. They put on such a great show here. Lawrence, another also solid showcase there. You saw a lot of semblances of what could be some great stuff down the line. Just a few more adjustments, a little bit of practice, and I think they might be a force down the line. But regardless, that will be the end of our IEN Mario Kart coverage for today. Before we go, do want to give a shout out to League OS Portal. So if you want to play esports in college after the high school circuit, well, now you can search hundreds of collegiate esports programs at portal.leagueos.gg. Scholarships exist for players, shoutcasters, and more, so list all of your talents. Verified college coaches are searching LOS Portal now to find you. And for all the IEN students watching here, make sure you sign in to manage your prospect profile where your stats automatically update. And one more final reminder, LOS Portal is free. Don't miss your chance to get discovered. Visit portal.leagueos.gg and level up your future. So that once again, that'll be wrapping up the coverage here for IEN Mario Kart 8. Thank you to all of us for watching here, and have a great afternoon.